Are you looking for a vegetarian twist at a crab cake? Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Chef Rich. Today we're making a broccoli and cheddar quinoa cake. Similar to a crab cake or salmon cake, but made with quinoa. I'm gonna try to do it without eggs to keep it vegan. I'm not sure how it's gonna bind. Once it's all together, I may have to add eggs, but we'll talk about that one later. Anyway, let's jump right in. We're gonna talk about our ingredients. I have some large onion diced up. I have 3 tablespoons of garlic, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper, 2 cups of quinoa that I just rinsed off, 2 cups of shredded carrots, 3 cups of cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese, and 4 cups of broccoli, relatively finely chopped. That way when I put it in the cakes, they will, it won't be sticking out. So to cook our quinoa, I'm gonna do 2 cups of water to 2 cups of quinoa. Basically what they call a 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm just gonna bring this up to a boil. And while that's going, I'm gonna start to saute our onions. So I'm gonna take just a teaspoon or so of olive oil. Gonna add our onions. And the onions are gonna take a good solid 5 minutes. So our water for our quinoa just came up to a boil. And now I'm gonna add our quinoa. As I said, this is a 1-to-1 ratio. And this will give you a very, very nice, fluffy quinoa. I see different recipes where it's like a 1.5 to 1 or even 2 to 1. And the quinoa is very watery. So this recipe will give you a very, very nice fluffy quinoa. We're gonna bring it up to a boil. We're gonna turn it down to a simmer and then just let it simmer until all the water boils out. So a couple things. One, I forgot to add the salt and pepper to the quinoa. So I'm just gonna pour that in and give that a very quick stir. That was the first thing. And I don't remember whether I told you to cover it, but we did cover that as soon as it came up to a simmer. And the next thing we're gonna do is I am going to take our garlic. I'm gonna make like a little hole in our onions. Gonna add our garlic. Gonna add just a drop of olive oil on top of that garlic so that sautés nicely. And this will just sit for 30 seconds to a minute. We'll just let that, like I said, we'll just let that cook for about 30 seconds and I'll see you in 30 seconds. So at this point, this has been cooking, like I said, just for about 30 seconds. Gonna mix this in with our onions. And now I'm gonna add our broccoli and our carrots. And basically we're just gonna saute this for probably 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on how long it takes for the broccoli to get tender. And I'm gonna continually mix it. So I'll see you in a few minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. So our quinoa, if you come in close, but if you look, all the water is absorbed. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just turn this off. It's been cooking on low. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a piece of plastic wrap and we're just gonna cover it very tightly and let it sit for about 15 minutes. And all the grains are gonna pop open and you're gonna have a very nice, fluffy, beautiful quinoa. So, and as far as this goes, this has to cook for another couple minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. So our mixed vegetables for our quinoa is now done cooking. If you taste the broccoli, it's tender and that's what you want. Everything else is done cooking, which is fine. It's mostly the broccoli. The broccoli has to be fully cooked. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this out. When we make our crab cakes, we want everything to be cold. So we're gonna turn this out onto a sheet pan, let it cool for half hour, 45 minutes. And once the quinoa is fully popped, I will also be turning this out onto a pad. Once they're both cool, we'll go on to making our cakes. See you shortly. Our quinoa and our mixed vegetables that I sauteed for our cakes are now cold. So I'm gonna put them all in a bowl. You'll notice that the quinoa is very nice and fluffy, very light, which is what you want when you cook quinoa. It shouldn't be watery. We'll add all this. And we're gonna add our sharp cheddar to this. And we're gonna mix this all together. And I'm very curious as whether this will stay together or if I'm gonna have to add some eggs. Right now, if you use a vegan cheese, it's totally vegan. Really nice toss together. So I tasted our mixture and I added a little bit of salt and pepper, and I will be definitely putting that in the description down below. And if you take a look at something I'll just actually, I'm gonna mix some salt and pepper real quick. So if you go like this, just to see if it forms a ball, it doesn't really stay, like it breaks apart very, very easy. So I am gonna add 2 eggs and see how that plays out. So unfortunately it's just vegetarian, not vegan. The egg yolk will add a little bit of richness to this, and the egg white will help bind it. And now let's see how this is. Yeah, definitely better. It's definitely a lot more moisture. And now when I press this down, it should form a nice cake. Yeah, maybe 1 more egg. So in the end, I wound up adding about 5 eggs. No, not about. I wound up adding exactly 5 eggs. So, but now it's actually a decent consistency. We're kind of, well, maybe a little too big. That would be nice. If you have like a ring mold, that would probably work better than what I'm doing, but this will work. Put it down and smush. Trying to keep it together. And that is official culinary terms, smush. So I'm gonna do all this, and once it's done, I'm gonna put it in a 400-degree oven and bake it for probably like 20 minutes, probably a little longer, actually half hour, just because it has egg in it, it needs to be fully cooked. So I'm gonna bake this for probably at least a half an hour, I'm guessing, and I will show you what they look like when they come out. See you in a bit. So our quinoa cakes were in the oven for right about a half an hour, maybe 33 minutes on 400 degrees. About halfway through, actually a little more than halfway through, about 20 minutes into it, I flipped it over just to give it color on both sides and take a look at what it looks like. And I'm gonna try it. Really, really, really good. It's actually, I'll use the words better than I expected. I'm not a big quinoa person. It actually has really nice flavor. Between the broccoli and the cheddar, it kind of tastes like a quiche, if you will, like a broccoli and cheddar quiche. It actually has very, very nice flavor. So if you're vegetarian, this is a very, very nice either lunch type item or a side dish for dinner. So anyway, if you like this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. See you next video, everyone. Bye-bye.